Hi guys, welcome back to Drawing with Anna. Today we are going to have a lesson in drawing cylindrical objects. We need to discuss why do we worry about cylindrical objects. We have a lot of cylindrical objects around us. They're basically round objects. Why do we use them? Well, we use them in our kitchen. We have coffee cups, we have plates. Here we go. Here is Chicken Boy. He has a website, by the way. It's a restaurant in Los Angeles. But this is what we're going to be drawing. And it's great when you're talking about doing a still life or doing an interior. Even in exteriors, we have cylindrical objects. We have water towers and things like that. So it's really helpful to learn how to draw a cylindrical object correctly. Can you hold this for just a moment? Thank you. We're going to start and we're going to have an exercise that we're going to do to help us draw round circles. For this drawing lesson, you're going to need a pencil. I'm going to actually use a Conti pencil that's a little bit darker. You can use a regular pencil, that's no problem. And you might want to have an eraser handy just in case you make a mistake and want to change something, okay? Start out on your sketchbook and I'd like you to try drawing a circle. Now, when you're drawing a circle, you can't draw a perfect circle in the first try. It's just too hard. Although I know there's these guys on the web and they draw like a perfect circle like this. It's really funny. But that's not what we do. You're going to practice drawing a circle and you're just going to go around and around until you get it pretty much right. And you notice that I don't have my hand on the paper and I'm holding my pencil pretty far back. So just draw that circle around and around and around, about 4 inches, 6 inches across, however you feel comfortable, till you've got it pretty much round. Now let's try drawing an oval, because cylindrical objects also involve a lot of ovals. We're going to draw it right in the middle, a very skinny one, almost like the equator on the Earth. We're going around and around and around, like this. Okay? Now let's try drawing a little bit bigger one. It's almost going to look like a basketball, just on the outside of that one. And we can try drawing one more, just practicing those round objects. And it's actually making us feel like we have a little bit of volume already, which is pretty cool. Just working with an exercise, learning to use our arms. And you notice when I'm drawing, I'm not using my wrist like this. That's too hard. You won't get a round circle if you do it like this. You sort of want to draw by using your shoulder, and you can actually put your other hand on your shoulder and feel your shoulder muscles moving as you are drawing that circle. And you should feel them engaging right in there. So it'll help you, really. Okay, before we start drawing our coffee cup, we're going to talk about a few mistakes that it's typical for students to make, and I want you to avoid those, okay? The first thing is, when you're drawing a coffee cup, people tend to draw a shape like an eye, and an eye, we have points on the edges of our eyes, and that's not really what you want to do. So sometimes people will draw a cup like this. There's an eye, and let's say they draw it like this, and they say, well, there's my cylindrical object. It's like a can. This little pointy thing, that's a no-no. You don't want to do that, okay? We want to draw round or elliptical edges with curved edges. Then there's another common mistake that people make, which is to draw maybe the top of the cup. They draw a big fat oval, and then on the bottom of the cup, they draw a skinny oval like this. Now, that is not a cylindrical object. That's actually like an elbow. That's like a joint that's curved around like this. So this is also incorrect. We want to try to avoid that. So let's draw our coffee cup. Start out on your sketchbook by drawing 2 lines all the way across your paper. I'm going to try drawing them straight here. About 3 or 4 inches apart is fine, okay? There we go, like that, all right? Now, we're going to start out and we're going to draw our coffee cup Maestro, may I have my coffee cup one more time? I'm going to show you this. It's like a little animation that we're doing. We're taking our coffee cup and we're going to draw it completely flat, and then we're going to tip it up a little bit, and then we're going to tip it up a little bit more, and tip it up and tip it up, as if you are looking into the coffee cup at the end of the lesson. Thank you. All right, so let's draw just the shape first. We're going to draw, no, it's not going to have any feeling of depth at all. We're just going to get the basic shape. We're going to actually put a little handle on this, on the edge. There we go, like that. Okay, there's our start of our coffee cup. Now, let's tip it up just the slightest bit and give it some depth. We're going to make a skinny little oval like this, and then exactly the same proportioned oval underneath on the bottom. We're pretending like we have a glass coffee cup so that we can see the inside of it. And then we can just connect the lines here, and we can draw our handle. Handle's not changed yet. Okay. That feels like it could be a coffee cup, and let's actually draw in the oval of the coffee. We'll put it a little bit higher. It's like 2/3 full. I don't know about you, but I drink a lot of coffee, so we'll hope that it's 2/3 full. The cup is always 2/3 full. First coffee cup. Now, let's tip it up a little bit more. We're going to make a little bit fatter oval on the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to start squashing the ovals together a little bit, because as you tip the cup, it's going to be compressing a little bit. Here we go. Oval, connected. Let's draw our handle again. The handle is also going to start squashing a little bit. And then let's draw our coffee in there. Same oval. So you see the proportions of this oval are the same. The proportions of this oval are the same. Okay? Now, one little trick you can do to make us understand which oval is closer to you is you can darken in or sharpen up the oval a little bit on the front side, which is the bottom part. So we just feel like a little bit like, okay, that coffee cup is coming towards us just a little bit. All right, let's try our next one. I'm going to make the oval a little bit fatter. We're looking into the coffee cup, and now compressing it a little bit. And you see I'm going around a couple times, and I'm definitely not doing that pointy thing. That's not a good thing to do. Okay, and then I'm actually going to start seeing the coffee in the cup just a little bit. Okay, let's darken this in so we see the front edge. Okay, and here the front edge. And my cup, we're starting to see the top of the handle. All right, let's do another step. Round. This one's almost perfectly round. We're really starting to see inside of the cup. And then we have our coffee. Let's close it together. Okay, we have the coffee. Here's the cup, the edge, the upper edge. Okay, the bottom part right here. And then we're looking in, and we're actually seeing the coffee right in here. Here, I can put this too. So they're seeing the coffee. Okay, oop, we need the handle. We're only going to really see the top of the handle now. It's just curving under like this. Okay, don't worry about the handle too much. Last step, let's tip it all the way up, and so we're looking straight down into the coffee cup, which is going to be it's going to be round. Now we're really seeing that this is a round coffee cup. So we're going to look straight down into the coffee cup here. We've got our coffee, and we don't even see the bottom. There we go. And we just have a cup like this. Okay. It's not too bad, right? Easy. It's almost like we're animating, understanding how to turn this coffee cup. Now, there are computer programs that you can use that explain this. They do it for you, but it's great to be able to understand how cylindrical objects work when you're doing a still life. How many times do we draw a vase in a still life with flowers in it, and we don't know how to draw the vase correctly? So now we're going to try drawing the vase, and it'll be a little more complicated than a coffee cup. So let's draw another set of lines. And we're going to make this one a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit more complicated. And this is going to be like an, I don't know, a flask that is wide at the top. It has a neck, it swells, and then we have a base. So let's do the shape of it. It's got a neck. Oh, it's got the top of it. It's got the neck. It's got a wide part, and it's got the base. So let's connect it, and so I can show you what it looks like. Something like this. Okay. Try to make it as regular as you can. Symmetrical, because if it was thrown on a wheel, it's symmetrical, right? It's cylindrical. Okay, there's our basic fun shape that we're going to try. Now let's do the same thing. We're going to tip the vase up just a little bit, which is going to make it feel like it has a little bit of 2 dimensions. And let's face it, when we're doing a still life, a lot of times what we're doing is we're looking down at the still life. The still life is placed a little bit below us. And so this might be the kind of vase that you would often draw. So let's try it. We're going to make a very skinny neck, and then we're going to have the rim, then we're going to have a little bit of the neck here, then we're going to have it skinny, skinny, skinny. And you see, I'm not getting it right on the first time. That's no problem. It's almost like there's a stripe on the vase. Okay, now let's connect it. I think it's easiest to make those ovals first, and then you connect. Pretty cool, huh? So right here, we're going to just darken that in so you can see this is the front, and we have it curved here. We don't have that pointy right there. Curved right there. Curved, and the top. There we go. I like it. Let's tip it a little bit more. Oval. And we're compressing a little bit. Oval. And we're starting to squash. We're starting to put it together. And there we go. Okay. Oval here. The stripes are in the front, especially in here. We're starting to see inside it a little bit. If there was a light, maybe there would be a little bit of shadow. If there's a light coming on this side, we'd have a little bit of a shadow looking inside of the flask. Okay, let's try the next step. Fatter, and we're starting to overlap. Overlap the pieces. See that? How they are now, they're touching each other and even overlapping a little bit. And now it gets a little bit trickier to connect the lines. You're almost going to have the neck come down a little bit, and the outside is going to be around it like this. And then we have this under here. Okay. So we're looking into the flask. Here's the neck of the flask right here. We're looking here, and okay. Let's tip it even more. Almost circular, but not quite. Here's the neck. Here's the same proportion, and underneath. See how we really almost looking down on the vase now. And there we go. All right. We're looking into the darkness of this vase. And you can't see the base anymore. You can't see the bottom part at all. It's underneath. We're really looking down on it. Okay? Our final, looking straight down, it's just going to be a bunch of circles. We have the open neck. We have the skinny part. We have the fat part. And we can't even see the bottom. But now we're looking straight down on it. So we're just going to darken in the rim. Ooh, that's not very circular. Let's fix it. Okay, and we can put that shading in. It'll help it be more understandable. We We've got this very dark interior that's got some really good olive oil in there, or it's got whatever you want. Okay, there we go. So we see the flask tipped a little bit more, a little bit more, and all of a sudden we're looking straight down on it, straight into it. I'm going to go back in and shade just a little bit so these make a little bit more sense. Okay, so over here you can say this, especially the coffee. All right, it's just, we can and you can actually, if you want to put a little bit of shading, you can put straight lines, especially on a cylindrical object. That's a nice way of shading a little bit. And here, that looks okay. I want to talk to you about one special case in which this rule doesn't apply. Now, this is a little bit advanced. We are talking here about cylindrical objects which are pretty small. They can be held in the hand. We have them all over our house, especially in the kitchen, and we use them for still lifes. And this set of rules also functions, say, for tables, round tables, if you're drawing a round table, or a stool, as long as you're not too close to that stool. But if you're drawing something that's larger and you are closer to it, then all of a sudden we have some rules of linear perspective which come into play. So what we have to do in that case is we have to draw actually a box. So I'm going to draw it up here just to give you an example. I'm going to use 1 point perspective. And I'm going to draw a box in 1 point perspective because we've got our single point. And let's see. And I'm going to say, okay, so here's our, this is a box in 1 point perspective. And let's say that I'm drawing a building, okay? This is a big building, and it's maybe a 3-story building or a 2-story building, and I can't see the roof, okay? The same holds true, for example, like a water tower. If you are drawing a water tower, which is a cylindrical object, we don't draw it like this, because this is a small object. We can see the ovals are the same proportion. In a water tower, that's not going to be true. Let's say we had a cylindrical water tower, okay? We would have one cylinder up here, and we would be able to see the top rim of it, and we'd have another cylinder down here, and we would see the bottom section of it. And they might not be the same proportion. So in this case, where my eyes are a little bit lower than center, the bottom oval is going to be skinnier, and the top oval is going to be a little bit fatter. So this is a difference. This is an exception to the rule where, you know, if you were going to draw a water tower, let's just say there's a bunch of stairs around it or whatever, however people get up it, okay, and it's a big building, okay? This is breaking the rule in terms of cylindrical objects. Well, I hope this was helpful. Practice. Don't worry if you can't get it right on the first time. Practice this a lot in terms of being able to make smooth circles, smooth ovals. Remember, no corners, and remember, in general terms, when small objects, you want to have both of the ovals the same proportion. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.